Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where Rangers are just, again, the strangest team in the world where they've been able to go on Thursday away in Istanbul and get a massive result, a massive win against Fenerbahce in the Europa League. I mean, this is just, how do we keep doing this? How does this keep happening? I mean, we spoke last week just after the Motherwell game, really zero positivity looking into the games ahead. We thought this game would have been really, really tough. Maybe lucky to get out with a draw, maybe a positive result with the scoreline isn't too heavy on us for Ibrox, but we've managed to come out with a 3-1 win, which could have been a lot more if VAR was on our side in that game. So it was a mammoth result, a massive victory against a Fenerbahce team who rarely get beaten, especially at home as well. It's just a huge result for us. So, we'll talk about this game. We'll talk about what went right, what went wrong, and then obviously heading into the game in Thursday, which will be a massive spectacle, of course. So, if you do enjoy the podcast, if you could like, subscribe, and share, that's always appreciated. But into the Fenerbahce game, which is going to be the kind of the main highlight of the episode. Of course, no game this weekend, so full week off, which is good for both sides as well. Fenerbahce not playing this weekend either, so both teams will be ready and they'll be raring to go. Fenerbahce, a team that are looking to really hurt us at Ibrox. Of course, they'll have to. They've got good players, I think, as we spoke about last week. But I don't know. I didn't really see too many of those players turn up, and there's always this fact we folk on Twitter: as soon as any European team plays Rangers, our teams just it just turns to crap, and I think we've seen that quite a lot of times where teams maybe underestimate us a lot, and we end up scalping them, and that's exactly what I think happened here. I think Jose Mourinho's team, as we said as well, quite defensive, can be quite hard to beat and break down, but I feel like this was a Fenerbahce team where they took the one eye off the ball really and really underestimated Rangers.
Massively underestimated us. And kind of like we did, obviously, on the last podcast where we felt like we weren't going to come out with anything. And then obviously kick off, and then you realise this Fenerbahce team, by the way, is easy to play against. I thought we absolutely ran them for the full 90. I didn't think they looked anything special. We rated all their top players and all that kind of last week. But Rasky and Diomande, all the boys put a proper shift in. And it should have been five, mate. Should have been five if we're honest with ourselves. VAR, just ridiculous decisions. Obviously Butland thought he maybe take one of his teammates out. Just an American football tackle there, but I'm kind of thankful he did because Balogun came in and was fantastic. And as we say in the podcast all the time, I know everybody says it as well, but you just wish he was 25. Honestly, you just wish he was younger. But as I say, just a top-notch performance, and now got to keep a hold of the lead, and hopefully go through in either away to sunny Spain or Italia.
Aye, I mean the next game, which could possibly be looming for us in this competition, is another step up. You would feel for Fenerbahce, obviously a good team within their league. They're pushing Galatasaray towards the title as well, but again, we've underestimated this Rangers team a lot. I think it domestically, rightfully so. We've been really, really poor domestically, but you see when the European stage opens up, and we've obviously made the argument, oh, it's Europe, the agents are watching, the players step up their game, but like these performances are a bit too good in Europe, where it's like I just feel like we've got players that are more suited to this style of football, which isn't again ideal. You're
Well,
playing 90% of your games in Scotland, where you have to be able to break the line, break the wall, and win games.
well, as you say, mate, we seem to favour being the underdogs rather than being
Aye.
the aggressor and being the team that actually, as you say, has to go and take the game to people. Which is what it is, I really suppose, in this kind of competition. But aye, as you say, we favour to be the underdogs.
I think that's maybe a problem with games at Ibrox recently, where it's been too much onus on us to be the team that has to create, that has to be having as many chances, testing the goalkeeper, making it difficult for the other team. I think the pressure of us being that team is definitely took away from our performances at home, and you just hope Thursday night that doesn't happen again because yeah, we've been poor at Ibrox for the last three games, all losses
Aye,
at Ibrox. So against really again difficult sides to play against, of course, for our
but
team, but
realistically,
games we should be winning, of course.
we
Aye.
should have 100% winning.
So aye, it'll be an interesting spectacle on Thursday. But going through the game that was last Thursday, I mean, I'm just getting in the house for work. Just to sit down, Dessers is going round the keeper. It's 1-0 already, and I'm just like, why can we not get this more often? You're usually sitting watching the game on the TV or Ibrox, nail biting, just waiting for some slivery a chance to go and score. But Rangers asserted themselves really well in the opening stages of this game, pressed Fenerbahce's defence really high, pressured them into mistakes, and then, as you say, got the reward for doing that. Diomande and Dessers and Cherny all involved in this goal. Dessers does really well, goes round the goalie, which is the best thing to do, and it's a bit with that in. It's
Ball
so
head
close
off.
to being in. In Scotland, that's measured as a ball here. So, aye, fantastic dream start for us.
Mm.
And you knew Fenerbahce would then be upset. They would come at us. They had a lot of crosses and a lot of good chances. I felt in Yassiri, Dzeko had one that forced Jack Butland for a good save. Yeah, they had a couple of chances, but it was more the set pieces that were getting swung into your box every 2 seconds. That was like, right, one of these is eventually going to go in, because you know how we defend set pieces, and it was Giku, I believe, that scored that one. Looking back on the replays, though, I think Jack Butland probably should do a lot better with it. It's kind of straight at him, but it is an awkward angle. It's one of those where you can maybe say it both ways, but it was an annoying goal to lose, because it felt it was coming, but it felt like we dropped out the game as well. Where I was like, right, now we've had our moment, and it will be hard to obviously get back into it.
Uh, I mean, how many times have you said that in the last couple of weeks, really, with Jack Butland? Should have dealt with it, should have done better. No, I was totally the same as you. I thought, right, here we go now. They're going to turn it on here and make it a wee bit difficult. Decent wee tune, by the way, to play when they score a goal. Just say that.
Yeah, the announcer over there was great. Aye,
Aye. But no, as I say, get back into it, really, didn't we? And we just kept going, didn't stop. As I say, I just thought they were easy to play. They had nothing in the middle of the park. Really didn't. I know I seen a couple of obviously Fenerbahce stuff, fans in that online talking about how important Fred really is to the team or whatever. I don't know if he is or not. But as I say, I just thought they were completely not easy to play against, mate. I don't think they obviously get their goal, whatever you, one or two wee threats, but for us, I just thought, right, if we've ever got a chance to go through here proper,
aye,
um, take it, and we did.
aye. No, it's again. You think about the score line; it's massive, of course, for us winning away there. But as you mentioned, the midfield, it was really open.
Really, I mean, Tadic, man, he wasn't even in the game.
Not a player that kind of totally the game passed by. Szymanski as well, a guy that I kind of expected a lot more from, wasn't great. Sofian Amrabat, obviously at Man United last year, again wasn't great. The midfield that they had, I think Philippe Kostic ended up going into midfield at one point after Jose Mourinho kind of changed it about, but I don't think anything worked for them, and he was pretty honest on that as well. I don't think anything he tried worked to nullify us, and you look at the system that was used by Barry Ferguson, something we need to take and applaud, because no Rangers manager's been able to come in and do this. Obviously, Gio, he changed it about and he tinkered about it in Europe, but I mean, domestically, he still kept with the same system. You look at Michael Beale playing the same system as Gerrard, and then you look at Clement, who never ever changed it. Even with the players that were out injured, he would just shoehorn somebody into somewhere to fill that slot. But Barry Ferguson and his team had to be smart. They thought about this, and since the game on Saturday, they had to change something. And this formation is pretty much exactly what I've wanted for a long time at Rangers, because it works for the roles that we have and the players that we've got, especially in an away game. I think this is the go-to team and formation that we have to be sticking with. I think in general, it just suits us a lot better. I think you look at Connor Barron coming in and playing in midfield really well with Raskin and Diomande, something that might have spooked Fenerbahce, I think, with the extra man in our midfield. You say we're getting a lot of space in there, and I think that was something that really benefited as well. Czerny's pace and his creativity, of course. Desser's done really well holding the ball up and getting
Sorry,
fouls.
sorry, the best player in the planet, was it, what Jose Mourinho
I
said?
mean, Jose Mourinho did say that.
That's the best in the world, is not CM Punk, it is Cyril Dessers. That's just the
It's
right there.
Dessers as of Thursday, so he done really well in this system as well. Diomande had to cover a lot of ground. Yefte had to get back. Obviously had the support for the extra defender as well, which meant he could go up a bit further forward. But for me, that's just epitomised everything about the performance. I mean, Ferguson had to be creative, and he was, and it got us the result.
Got us the result, and by the way, how refreshing, I know it's only for like 3 odd months or whatever, but how refreshing is it to see a manager actually on the sidelines care and actually, you know what I mean? You're watching the boys play football and Barry Ferguson's like doing a Simeone and he's halfway up with him. It's just
Hmm.
for me, that's what I want to see. And as I say, just top performance. And obviously the formation is kind of what you've wanted to see for a long time, as I say. But as you said there, sorry, apart from like Gio really in Europe, nobody's really changed it. You'd have to go. I mean, it's been the same probably since Mark Wahlberg with the formation. But no, I'm just as I say, I was blown away. I did not expect us to actually go out there and do it, and we turned around and we should, as I say, we should have had five. We get three. You take it, you run with it, and to a man, if they was fantastic, you couldn't have fought a single one of them.
No, and if we briefly go through the rest of the team, as you say, Jack Butland knocked out Robin Proper with a massive
Ah,
headbutt,
well,
which
aye,
again that could be a blessing in disguise really, because obviously Robin Proper's not covered himself in too much glory, but on the
ah,
European stage, similarly, a lot of these players, he does tend to be a lot better. But I think what you seen with Leon Balogun brought to the team when he came in, the amount of balls that were crossing into the box, with Fenerbahce getting frustrated at not being able to play through us, I think Balogun was the right guy to come on and play that role. But Butland did make a good few saves himself to keep us in it. The one in the second half, I believe, he just kind of turned it by the post at a vital moment. As we say, a couple in the first half. Could have done better with the goals, we said, but Butland a lot more like what we kind of expect for Jack Butland in the Rangers goal. And with the defence in front of him, of course, makes it a lot easier. Balogun, as you say, coming into the game, I think he won every single header that was put across his way. So a mammoth performance for him, as you say. Just like fine wine in this Rangers team, he really is. If he could stay fit all the time, he'd be playing all the time. But he's just a fantastic defender, and alongside John Souttar, the two of them were magnificent. I thought Souttar was really really good, and he's somebody that's so vital with this team. I think if you saw a Clinton Enciala in there, it would have maybe have been a lot different. Of
oh,
course, with him being just kind of
a
new to
young
the
gun.
professional game, so I think having Souttar back and then Tavernier's experience in his best position now in the centre of defence. So I think, as a whole, the back four were really good.
Oh, I was solid, mate. Absolutely solid. Even Tavernier dealing with, I know he was a bit overweight or whatever, but dealing really well with St. Maximin as well when he came on. But no, you have to give credit, I think, as well, as you said there, to John Souttar coming back in and just back in solid straight away. Balogun, as you say, fine wine, but you wish you did have that fountain of youth and you could maybe dip him in at 23, or 25 again, whatever, as long as we could get a profit at the end of it, would have been nice. But no, he was fantastic, mate. As I say, to a man, just to a man, you can't fault anyone in him. But as I say, defensively solid, and hopefully
Uh,
we can continue that. I know it's going to be hard. Obviously, for the last couple of games, it's not been good enough at all. And I just hope it's a Thursday night. Rangers love a Thursday night. Let's keep a clean sheet here. It would be nice. Let's not make it nervous. Let's fast for doing that, please.
no, that's the thing we need to think about. We've got a decent advantage, but it's all about keeping that advantage for as long as possible and then building on it. We don't want to be pegged back at any point, but yeah, I think the team that started the game and the players that came into the game were really vital in getting this one over the line. I think Raskin was a machine in the middle, as we've seen through the European campaign so far. Barron came in and done a lot of selfless work for the team. I thought he was really good coming in again for probably his first start since the Man United game, I think. So good to see him back. Good to see him still kind of knocking on the door as well. We've wanted obviously the young Scottish guys for a while to be involved with Rangers, and he done himself no harm with this performance. I think it suits his game a lot more being in the midfield three, because a lot of the onus is on Diomande and Raskin when they're playing in a two to be right. So Diomande and Raskin can kind of do the same thing. They go forward, they can go back, they're box to box, they can create, they've got that ability. But I think Barron is more of the sitter. He's more of the guy that will do the defensive dirty work. He can obviously keep it tidy with the passes and stuff, but going forward there's maybe a bit of a stretch for Barron at the moment, and some he'll have to improve on. So I think you see the three of them really work together well in that system. The wing backs I thought were good as well. Yefty had a bit of a poorer first half, I think, but in the
Mm.
second half he grew into the game a lot more. Unlucky to not get a brilliant assist for Dessers. Really good selfless running for him down the left hand side, and something we've been wanting to see for a while for Yefty is just we know he's got blistering pace. He can get by anybody, so just use it and believe himself a bit more. So
No, that's it. That's 100% it. As you say, midfield, group of dogs, man. Unbelievable. And as you say, you want to see him use that pace a lot more. Well, I mean, I kind of, as I say, I just saw it to a man. They were brilliant, mate. There's not any one of them I could pick apart and say could have done this, should have done better, but they were just all fantastic, mate.
yeah,
Fantastic performance.
and then the two that probably get more of the plaudits because of their goals, Václav Cherny and Cyril Dessers. Of course, we spoke about Dessers. He's now labelled as the best player in Europe. He could have had a hat trick in another night, but he finishes the game with a goal and an assist. The assist, to be fair, he maybe overhit it a bit, but Cherny was smart and alive to the situation enough where he could still score. But Cherny has just shown his class on this level. I think he's the one outlying player throughout the full season. It's just been the kind of go-to guy if you're needing a goal, if you're needing just massive performances. He's been there. He's played a lot of games with Rangers already, so him getting another two goals to add to his tally isn't going to make it any easier to keep him. But for himself, he's doing himself no disservice to get a really smart move in the summer, a really big move in the summer, wherever he ends up. Hopefully at Rangers, but we'll see what transpires with that one. Somebody I would really like to keep a hold of, but if you're looking at the two goals, of course, Dessers to Cherny, great goal to get his 2-1 going into half time, and then the third one that came at just a great time. We're looking at Nico Raskin just playing one of the best passes in
Unbelievable.
Europe on Thursday, and Cherny again had a lot to do, a lot on his mind. I remember that one against Malmo at the very start of the season where he was through clean 1-on-1. That was a different Cherny then. He missed that. Cherny was never missing as soon as he bowed down with the goalie. So, it came at a really good time. It gave us a very fair score line going into next week, I think. And it's when he just put Everton into Thursday once again.
Once again, but as I say, I was at the time absolutely raging with the goals that my boy Dessers couldn't, they rolled off. And as I said, you can understand why his confidence goes up and down when stuff like that kind of happens. Do you know what I mean? With
Hmm.
VAR, it takes the goals away from him. But no, Cherny, I mean, it's going to be so hard to try and sign him permanently. I know we've got the backing of the US of A, but that's still to me going to be difficult to get done. I mean, what is it with these loan players that we seem to fall in love with? Obviously, for you it was Tillman, for me it was Boy Seamer, and now we're both loving Cherny here, and
You're
it's
you're
going to
just
be
thinking about that, but like you think about the players that we've had and probably could have got
yeah,
permanently,
no,
and obviously we did try to get Seema last that summer there. But you think you like Cherny on the right, Seema on the left, Igaman up the middle, Tillman behind that with Raskin Diamant. Like it sounds like a really
that's
nice
fine.
team. Of course,
Uh,
we were unable to get Tillman, and he's probably going to go into major things. So
and
fair play for that one.
the reality now is we're stuck with Oscar Cortez, who
Well,
I
why?
think you know what I mean. Where is this boy? But no, it's just one of those things. I think we will have a chance personally to really get Cherny over the line. I think how can you not try and fight to get him signed? You
I
feel
think the only
Seamus
thing that hinders us is we play in Scotland. That's it. We
that
could
aye,
get
that's
these
it. Man.
players if we played anywhere else.
Everywhere else, but I mean, you look at Seamus still kind of flirting with it. You still see him liking posts and under comments, putting stuff. So yeah, I don't know. There'll maybe be a chance. What, he's a free agent in the summer, or is he
Yeah, I
still
think he's got
a
a
year
year
left
left
with
in his
Brighton?
Brighton deal, which again Brighton aren't going to use him. So into the
Just
last year of the deal is when you can be competitive, when you could probably get him at a kind of lower cost price. I think he's a guy that wanted to come back. He wanted to work with Philippe Clement, of course, who had him as
well,
the
he's gone,
manager.
pal.
So
He's gone. You can't work with him. We're bringing somebody else in. So
aye.
I'd like to say I'd try and fight for both of their signatures, but at the
I
moment in
think if you're
time,
going to build a team that is going to be competitive on all fronts, the two of them are massive players,
well,
of
I
course.
mean, you look across, you know what I mean, across the city, and you see how vital and important the wingers are for them. You know what I mean? It's one of the things where we have to get the real top quality in. As you said, next this Thursday coming up, it's going to be Everton. You're going to need Everton, and then and obviously the atmosphere in Turkey is unbelievable, and what have you. But I don't know. I think if we get that early goal, I just feel like this lot will crumble. I
Nah,
think
no,
it'll
I
be a
think it'll
difficult
be
night for
a
them. If we get the early goal, but then as I say, if we make mistakes and we allow them to play and we allow them into the game, it's going to be a long night for us.
yep.
Just really don't understand what's going on here with the form at Ibrox. This is where we should feel the most confident to play, and it just seems like we're not at all. It just feels like we'd rather be playing away than at home, which is it's mind-boggling to me.
Yep. No, no, it's going to be an interesting one. And then again, we briefly looked at the Fenerbahce team, a team littered with so much international quality, but we're
Experience
unable
as
to.
well.
Yep. You look
Experience
at
in there.
Soyuncu playing in the Premier League, Skriniar, he's been playing with PSG. Amrabat with Man United, of course. Kostic, we know him for Eintracht Frankfurt. Tadic has been one of the best
Snap them.
players
Yeah.
in Europe, probably out with the top five leagues at Ajax. He was brilliant. In Yasiri, obviously at Sevilla, and Dzeko's done it his full career. So to keep them quiet was nice. I think my head and your head's blocking the stats for us, but it's 8 shots and 6 on target. Which is something that we've wanted for a while as well as a team to actually take our chances, and we did. Here we get shots on target. We knew we were going to get limited chances and we're playing in the counter attack, but we took advantage of the chances that we get given for once. And then you look at the stats on their side: 23 shots, 7 on target, big level of possession in the game as well. So, aye, we can be proud of that victory. It's a massive victory, and even got Jose Mourinho in a bit of an upset mood as well, saying they were bad everywhere, they didn't do anything right. He says it's a good result, of course, because they didn't get battered even more than they probably should have with the goals that we had ruled out. But he just kept it real. He kept it real. He obviously he's playing his cards right because he wants us to believe that the game's done and he's going to come over and he's going to try and frustrate and upset us. Of course he is, because he's a class manager and he's a class act. But as you say, at Ibrox, we spoke about the Europa League run the last time in 2022 a lot. You look at this stage was where we played Red Star, I believe, at that time. We've obviously done really well to get the 3-0, went away there, got a draw, get through. But every single time we played at home in Ibrox, we scored relatively quickly. You look at Dortmund, of course, we got a penalty very early on that took a bit of the pressure off. You look at Braga, we were 2-0 up in about 10 minutes, it felt like. And then you look at Leipzig after that, we were 2-0 up within like the first half an hour. So in that run, we scored early and we made it difficult for the teams to come back. So hopefully we follow in the same suit and make Mourinho panic on the touchline and make him think about what he could have and should have done in this game differently. But it's going to be a tough game regardless. I think we caught Fenerbahce definitely on an off night as well because we were so good. But I think the team will maybe change a wee bit. I don't think it will change drastically. I'm still keeping that same shape because I think Fenerbahce are going to try and throw everything at us, of course. We need to be more robust, but I feel like we need that extra guy in attack, and I feel like Hamza Agaman playing off of Cyril Dessers with Czerny on the right-hand side could benefit us really well. Obviously, sacrificing one guy for the midfield and Connor Barron, but I think at home, the onus has to be on us to get forward and create. I think
Mm.
Igaman starting the game would do that for me. So I think it stays the same all round. The reason I've went with Dujon Sterling instead of Ridvan at right back is I think Sterling came on. He done really well to nullify Saint Maximin because Saint
Mm.
Maximin is a fantastic player. He's got so much skill. He's got so much ability on the ball. And you could see Ridvan and Tavernier were struggling to deal with his initial balls into the box. Were unable to get blocks on him. He was getting into the box too easily. As soon as Barry made that change and brought Sterling on, Sterling was right into him and he let him know he was there. And I think for me, and Moria kind of defensive minded setup, but he can go forward as well. I think I'm going for Sterling.
No, I can't listen. I can 100% get it. I'd probably make the kind of changes as well, but I'm just think Ferguson's going to stick with the same team. I don't think he can change the way the the winning team. Obviously, maybe as you say, one or two rotations there, but I just get out there. I don't really, as I say yet again, I'm not really bothered who's playing as long as we get out there. We just put a performance in, and it'd be nice to win at Ibrox again. Which you know what I mean. I can't remember the last time. I've stabbed my head here, but nah, just go out there and just get everything you've got, mate. That's for me, really. I don't. I wouldn't really drop Barn. I think I'd give we Connor Barn in our game. But Hamza definitely I could maybe do that. But aye, as I say, just go out there and get everything you've got. You know what I mean? You've got the 3 goals. Just don't, do you know what I mean? Do the fall into the Mourinho trap, where as you say, where you think you're safe and you're all right. Well, we're through here. You know it will just bite you, but I don't think we will. I know obviously Ferguson said it's half time, which is the positive mindset you want to hear your manager saying, not getting overconfident, just being like it's only half time, getting our half to play him. Hopefully we just go out there in that other half and we do get the early goals, mate, and then see ourselves in either sunny Spain or away to Italia. Would be
No, of
lovely.
course. I mean, you look at the possible fixtures as well. It's an interesting tie, and I think this is again a tie that's far from over. So we'll need to take care of this one first, as you said. But I think with the attitude that we've got in this competition, the attitude that Barry Ferguson has as well, where he's not afraid to change the personnel of the team to get the result, is a massive positive for us. So
Absolutely.
we'll see. The
Absolutely.
press conference will obviously be the Wednesday. We'll hear what Jose Mourinho's saying when he's on his way to Glasgow to talk about the game. We'll hear what Barry's obviously got to say about this one as well. But I think a weekend between the two games is massive for both teams. Of course,
Both.
they'll have a lot of time to think about and dissect this game on what they did wrong to make it better, and we have to just replicate that performance again.
No, well, you know what Josie will be saying? He'll be saying, "Show me the money." Get him in that dugout in the summer. No, listen,
Aye,
look, I think bringing Stirling in, as you say, Stirling did really well. I thought Tavernier was doing all right with him, but as you say, done really well with St Maximin. But aye, that's probably the one I could go with the most. But as I say, just go out there, whoever plays, just go out there, give everything you've got, make sure we get through. Get a nice wee trip away would be lovely in the sun, instead of over here in the miserable weather we get. But aye, I'm hopeful, mate. I'm gonna keep it positive. I say that, and then aye, just keep it positive. Let's go. Come on, half
aye,
time.
no, it's one of those things where in Europe there's a different energy, and hopefully that energy is transmitted onto Ibrox and Thursday. It'll be an electric atmosphere, as you said. I mean,
Unbelievable.
the fans coming over to Fenerbahce, I can't wait to see as well. I think that'll be make for a massive spectacle at Ibrox, and of course we need to be on our game as well to get behind the team. So, yeah, it's going to be a huge game. And hopefully it ends in our favour. But aye, that's the podcast. As always, let us know your thoughts on the game. What would you do? What would you change? And how do you think Mourinho's team will fare coming to Ibrox to play us? So aye,
I
let
don't.
us know.
Before you go, son, don't forget to hype up the TikTok as well.
Aye, no, of course we're on TikTok. You'll see more again instant content towards the games and what's happening at Rangers. Obviously, we round this up at the end of the week. And we
Mm.
look obviously ahead to the next week's action. But aye, on TikTok, it's in the description of the YouTube. Follow us over there, and you'll get more kind of instant reaction to the games and the news that's happening at Rangers. But aye, we'll be back next week anyway with another podcast covering this game, and then of course it'll be after that looking ahead to Parkhead. So we'll see you then.